Hello, welcome back to Rybook TV and welcome to the first drive of the brand new BMW iX. Now this is a day that I've been intrigued by. I wouldn't say that I've been excited for it, because I get excited for McLarens and Lamborghinis, fire-breathing V10s, monstrous things that burn jungle juice and create silly amounts of sound. So I've not really been overjoyed by the idea of electricity. And this car has intrigued more than excited, in my opinion. Cards on the table right now, I did not expect to like this. I really didn't, because I just expected it to be too big and just too heavy. I've been driving it now for about a mile, and already those preconceptions of what I thought this car would be have vanished, because I think it's brilliant. I really do. Now, we've already done a full walk around of this car, so I'm not going to touch on too much of the technology side of things. If you want to see that video, please use the link in the top of the screen or in the description of this video. Today is all about the drive. How does it drive? How does this car feel on the road? Because at the end of the day, this is still a BMW. This is still the ultimate driver's machine. It has to be. And my first impressions when jumping into it were, this hexagonal steering wheel is a very strange proposition. It feels a bit weird on your hands, but after half a mile you think, oh, why aren't all steering wheels hexagonal? It's perfect. It fits to your hands really well. You can hold it in different places, and it's pretty spot on. The digital display directly in front of me is superb, and for the first time you can actually get the Apple CarPlay maps in the center of the screen. On the previous technology on the dash, you could only get the directions, you couldn't actually get the map. So that is a really cool thing to have. The definition on these screens, as if you've seen the previous video you would have seen, is just superb. And before I really touch on the dynamics, let me just touch on this interior. It's glorious. I love the simplicity of it and all these gold accents around the place. Love the fact you've got the crystallized controls in this for the iDrive, the wooden effect with the volume buttons, etc. They're really cool. So now on to the drive. So let's recap on what you can get with the iX. So it's available as a Sport or an M Sport. You can get the 40 or the 50. This is a 40 with over 300 horsepower, and the 50 comes with over 500 horsepower. And there is a rumour, just a rumour, of potentially an M60. That car, I think, will be unbelievably fast. So let's go back to this one. 6.1 seconds to 62 miles an hour. And it will go on to just over 100 miles an hour. The range on this car is around 250 miles, depending on how you drive on the WLTP cycle. It's actually slightly less than the 50, because the 50 has got a bigger battery. Charging times on a 7 kilowatt hour wall box, you're looking at around 11 hours on this car from 10% to 80%, and around 16 hours on the 50, thanks to the bigger battery. This car can only charge at up to 150 kilowatts, whereas the 50 can go up to 200 kilowatts, which means they have a 10% to 80% time, very similar, of around 30 minutes. And that's the boring stuff out of the way. That's the charging, that sort of stuff. If you want a bit more detail, check out the video that we did before. But what does this car feel like to drive? Does it feel like a BMW? Does it still feel special? Well, it's rather strange for me to say this about a big, high-riding electric SUV. I think it does. I really do think it does. And actually, we've got a tractor here that's holding us up, so we've probably got a good opportunity to show the acceleration. Just like all electric cars, you get instant torque. As soon as you press the throttle, it's all there. It kicks you in the back of the head. Now, this is only the 40 as well, so this isn't anywhere near as fast as the 50. But it's still, for such a big, high-riding, heavy car, it's so nippy, I think is the word that I would use. Electric power really is oh, it's just instant. You get all the torque, all the power the second you press that accelerator. And for someone that hasn't been in an electric car, if you take someone out that's never experienced this, they're going to be shocked at just how quick a car like this accelerates. So we're currently doing around 30 miles an hour. And I'm going to put my foot down because we're about to go into a natural speed zone. 30 to 60. Watch this. And we're there. That's it. 30 to 60 happens that quickly. Oh, it's mighty impressive. It really is. The thing that has got me most about this car, though, is how you actually have some feel through the steering wheel. I'll say it again. I really expected this car to feel quite numb and not really alive, but I was wrong. I don't really like admitting that I was wrong, but in the case of this car, I've got to admit it, because when you're winding it around some nice little country lanes like this, I mean, we've got an electric all-wheel drive system which is always on. Today is a little bit wet, it's cold, it's not ideal conditions to be driving quickly. However, the car it disguises its mass very well, I think. You can thread it, you really can thread it around bends. The steering wheel, I'll come back to this hexagonal steering wheel, but it feels brilliant in your hands. You feel like you do get very good feedback. You know where the front wheels are. It does not feel the heavy, big brute that it actually is. So when you get to some B roads and you really want to enjoy this car, you can, which is incredibly surprising for me. But let's dial it back down and let's just concentrate on the comfort, because let's be honest, these cars aren't really going to be driven in anger, are they? When you just want to potter around, the ride quality is incredibly good. It's very quiet in here, as you'd expect from an electric car, but in a lot of electric cars you get quite a lot of wind noise and tyre noise because it's amplified, because there is no combustion noise, there's no drivetrain. However, in this, it's still incredibly quiet. You don't really get much wind noise around the wing mirrors, you don't really get that much tyre noise either. And this is on the big 22s. Well done, BMW. I'm so impressed with this car. As I said, I really did not expect this car to drive as well as it does. It's a really, really compelling package, this. And as a rival for the likes of the Tesla Model X, I'll say right now, I know which one I'd have. It'd be this one. It'd be the BMW. It's got the pedigree. It's got the feel of a BMW. It's got the brilliant interior in here, the quality, the look. I think the look is really growing on me. I think, as I mentioned in the previous video, I think this is going to be a little bit like the i3. When the i3 first came out all those years ago, let's be honest, people thought it was ugly. And now, it's a really stylish, cool looking car, and I think this will do exactly the same for a lot of people. I didn't like it when it first came out, but now spending more time in it, spending the day out in it today, and it's really grown on me. I think it's a great car, this. It really, really is, and as a proposition to get into the electric future, well done, BMW. Really, really well done. This car is so impressive, and if you'd like to experience this for yourself, please use the links in the description of this video to contact one of our Rydebook BMW retailers to book yourself a test drive. Come and experience this car, because I think you'll be shocked at how good it is, just like I was. Now, thank you ever so much for watching this video. There is going to be a lot more content to come with the BMW iX. This is the first drive, this is our first look at this car, our first chance to get behind the wheel and really have a look at what it's about, but there will be plenty more content to come with this car. So please make sure you subscribe to the channel to make sure you don't miss out on any of that content. And I'll see you again very, very soon.